In this video, I'm going to go through practice problem from chapter 7, number 5. So first, this problem is dealing with mortgage payments and how much you can afford for a house and that sort of idea. So we're given a monthly gross income and we're given some information about this person's debt and what they'd be able to get a loan at, what percent, and what down payment they'll be able to make. So that's all going to go into what they could afford for a house. So first, from 7.6, Exhibit 7.6, you are able to figure out first your monthly gross income. So we're already given that. But if you weren't, you would just take your annual income and divide by 12. And then it says here with a down payment of at least 5%, lenders use 33% of monthly gross income as a guideline, but 38% if we're also including debt. All right, so we're going to use 38% because this person has other debt here. We have other debt here, and then monthly estimate for property taxes that we're also going to have to deal with. So, we go back down to find out my affordable monthly mortgage payment. I'm going to take my monthly income, that $2,950, all right, and multiply by 0.38. I'm using 0.38 because I have debt. If I didn't have debt, I'd be able to use the 0.33. All right, so this gives me 1,121, all right, and now I have to subtract both my debt and the estimates for property taxes and insurance because those are going to be paid monthly as well, so I'm going to need to not have those included as far as my monthly mortgage payment. So I'm subtracting 160 for my debt and 210 for property taxes and insurance. So this gives me a monthly mortgage payment of $751. All right, so that's what I'm able to afford monthly. Now, if I want to figure out how much I could take a mortgage out for, I need to come back up here. And so following along still with the 7.6 exhibit here, I've subtracted all these guys, so now I'm at this stage, right? So if I divide this number by the percent that I'm looking for, so down here I come down to my term rate is 6%, and I'm at a 30-year loan. So this ends up actually being 6 exactly, but it's not coming from the 6%, it's coming from this table. So you want to be careful here. So up in 7.6 we see that this was an 8% loan, 8% 30-year loan, and so that corresponds to the 7.34 that we would see down here. All right, so just be really careful that you know where these values are coming from. So this one's a little bit tricky because the 6 corresponds, you might think it might just correspond to the 6%, but it doesn't. It corresponds to this mortgage payment factor. All right, so we're going to take that, and we're going to take 751 and, I don't know, 751 and divide by 6 and multiply by 1,000, and that will give us our total mortgage that we can take out. Okay, so I come back up here, I take that 751, I'm dividing by 6% and multiplying by 1,000. All right, and that gives me a total mortgage amount of $125,167. All right, so this gives me the total amount that I could take out as far as a mortgage. But it's not the total amount I could afford for a house because I have a down payment. So I have to account for this down payment. So I come back up to the problem, statement of the problem, and my down payment is 15%. All right, so that's coming from this statement in the question. So if my down payment is 15%, then my mortgage payment only represents 85% of the house. All right, so that's why in this 7.6, we're dividing the mortgage payment by the 0.9 there. That's saying that I put down a 10% down payment. I put down 15% down payment that I'm going to divide by 0.85. All right, so I come back down here. All right, and so my affordable home purchase is I take this number from part B, I do 125,167, and I divide by 0.85 because that is the amount that I would have left over for my down payment. All right, so this gives me 147,255. All right, and this is the total amount that I could afford to buy for a home. And so if you ever forget, so people sometimes forget that you're supposed to divide by the 0.85 in this step. If you want to just think about, remember, if you want to find out what 85% of 147,255 is, you would multiply those to get the 125,167. So that's another way to think about it. But in any case, our total home payment would be $147,255. Anything above that would be outside this person's budget. All right. So thank you for listening.